KZ2, one of the fastest classes in kart sport. 6-speed sequential gearboxes, 125cc onboards with Daniel Bray and Matthew Hamilton. And this is a stellar lineup with some returning names coming back into the class as well. Tony, and you're a former New Zealand champ yourself.
Yeah, very much so. And we're on board here with Matthew Hamilton, former New Zealand Rotex Light and Yamaha champion. Stepped up into KZ2 for a bit of a change, and he's carrying our camera, so we'll keep an eye on him.
So Daniel Bray getting the initial jump over Ryan Grant. Haven't these two traded wins over the last couple of seasons? Daniel Bray with lots of experience, coming off the back of his big win in an American series recently with the KZ2 class, and he's back up there again this season, Tony.
Yeah, and that's certainly showing with Daniel's experience. He's doing a lot of driving up in the States and certainly back home here in New Zealand, and he's out front leading this race, so it's certainly paying off.
Back on board with Matt Hamilton. Well, Daniel Bray was the top qualifier from Ryan Grant, Matthew Kinsman, Matt Hamilton, Richard Moore and Daniel Colville. In the first heat, it was Grant who got the win ahead of Bray and Kinsman. Heat 2, Grant, Bray, Kinsman. Heat 3, Grant, Bray, Kinsman. So Ryan Grant's been the pace setter, and he's only been defeated in qualifying. So Ryan Grant looking for the victory here as we concentrate on Matt Hamilton, and he's got his hands full.
Yeah, Matt Hamilton's got Richard Moore right up behind him. He's certainly looking forward and pointing ahead, saying let's go to the front. So if these two work together, there's no reason why they can't tag on the guys in front of them.
So we talked about the KF2, sort of in that 35 to 40 horsepower range. These are shifter karts, of course, 125cc. What sort of horsepower are you putting out of these engines?
Yeah, still 125cc, Jamie, but obviously they've got 6 gears bolted on the bottom of them. So any one of these are the best part of 45 horsepower. Probably the most exciting kart sport engines that we drive.
There's young Mitch Brown. He's recently made the step up into the senior class in KZ2, just losing a position there to the 4 of Daniel Colville, who's another youngster, not too long in the senior ranks. 24 also going by there as well, and that is Jason Faint from Australia.
Yeah, Jason Faint, he's made a return back to the sport. This is probably his first meeting of the year before he does the CIK Stars of Karting in Australia. Making his way down the Kart Sport 1 England circuit here, back on board with Daniel Bray. Making his way just back down to the bottom of the circuit. Very demanding circuit, here it is.
Ryan Grant's right there with him, and more so than probably the other classes with the horsepower. Tyre management is so crucial because they only have a certain amount of tyres over the race weekend.
Yes, very much so, Jamie. Obviously the horsepower that these karts are putting out, very hard on rear tyres if you don't drive it correctly, and if you do miss your kart setup, you can be going into the final with a fairly canvas set of tyres. As Ryan Grant up the inside of Daniel Bray. Makes
the pass. I thought Bray might have been able to live there to the next corner, but he couldn't. Ryan Grant goes by him.
Yeah, that's good racing by those two. They gave each other room. Remember, they've still got a long way to go in this weekend. Got another final to go yet, so there's no point tearing gear up just at the moment.
Welcome back to the CRC Raceway. Kart Sport Wellington hosts for the 2012 CIK Trophy of New Zealand, presented by Misadab Instant Noodles. KZ2 pre-final. Battles further back. Matthew Kinsman there and Richard Moore. Matthew Kinsman running the Sodi kart chassis. Richard Moore in the Maranello. Moore making a nice pass up the inside for position.
A big pass by Richard. He come from a fair way back, but Matthew's given him room. Now they're going to make their way back down the steeper part of the circuit. Certainly gets pretty busy from here on in.
Richard Moore, a former New Zealand Open class champion. He's done more circuit racing with the bigger cars recently. Not so much kart sports. Good to see him back in there, and of course making his debut in the New Zealand V8 Super Tourer Championship. Back on board with Daniel Bray, trying to close down Ryan Grant, but again just trying to manage those tyres with the final to come, because pre-final, all it really does is set the grid for the final, and the CIK Trophy is all on that final result.
You can certainly hear Daniel's throttle control now. He's probably only driving about 80% is what he was at the start of the race, so both of these boys certainly saving their gear.
So Daniel Bray in the GP chassis. Ryan Grant debuting the ART GP chassis this weekend. Used to seeing Ryan in the Maranellos in the past. He'll take the victory in the pre-final, looking to start up front for the main events. Ryan Grant with the victory from Daniel Bray. Richard Moore, Matthew Kinsman, Matthew Hamilton completes the top 5.
The kart we got set up for a long final, so I knew that Bray would get away in the first couple of laps. I caught back up, and then I thought, you know, I'll just sit here and let the track come and let the laps dwindle down a little bit more, and then I could see he started to struggle a little bit towards the end of that race, so I thought, oh, you know, I'll make a move. And I looked behind after I got into the lead, and I had a little bit of a gap, so, you know, we just sat back, cruised, and saved sides for the final.
We're both trying to save tyres. Yesterday was an extremely hot day, and the rubber just got really hot and really damaged the tyres. So at the end of the day, Ryan and I, we sort of gapped out to quite a bit of a lead, and then we sort of, a mutual agreement, unspoken rule sort of thing, we sort of just backed off and both tried to save tyres, and we'll fight it out in the next one.
Unfortunately, I didn't really get a good start there, been my story of the weekend, but we've got good pace over the long race, so hopefully in this next one, you know, we'll really take it to the front too.